not going to be a drag race. Who took that one? What a finish! This is not going to be a drag race. Who took that one? What a finish! Ladies and gentlemen, we do apologize for whatever is happening here with our computer, but we did have a crash with the stream in the latter stages, which is so unfortunate because after we had such an exciting race one and we wanted to bring the glory to Mr. Kimani Eastman, who is sitting in the chat with us as we speak. We do want to bring some light to his first podium, well, official podium, because you've obviously gotten silver class podiums before, but nonetheless, your first official top 3 finish here at the JSRA in the Caribbean Touring Car Championship. Kimani, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here new.
In the
Good
commentary
evening, everybody.
booth. Excuse me?
Oh, I saying good evening.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. You're not
Yep,
used to this, are you?
Nope.
I know when we mentioned that you were supposed to come into the commentary box, you sounded a little bit nervous there.
Well, I'm here now.
You're
Less
here
nervous
now.
now.
So we'll just start this interview off by saying that the commentator's curse is not as strong as we said, or some may have stipulated in the past, but
Sure.
nonetheless, the commentator was Steven Stewart and was rooting for you this evening to state that you are putting a hell of a race on. Could you walk us through the first race, please?
All right. So, well, I came into this just minimal practice. Well, I did practice, but not a lot, and got a decent start, and I just it just flowed from there. When I went to quali, I started setting faster and faster lap and say, all right, let me just come into the race and be consistent.
Yeah.
And yeah, worked out for first CTCC.
Right.
Oh, first CTCC podium. Jaden got the drive through, so sad for him.
Hey, racing is racing, man.
Right?
Racing is racing. Again, as you said it, you touched 136s in quali, and I mean, we were over here rooting for you. Some persons were saying, commentators curse and keep you out of the mouth. But in my opinion, no, we don't even need to get there. In my opinion, if something did go wrong, obviously we're going to call Chad Dillon's name, but nonetheless, what a epic race from you. Can you just give us a little bit of insight now on the track and the car and what you expect from the season to come, starting it off with a podium finish there?
Well, I quite like in the new hybrid system.
Same.
I prefer it more than the push to pass because you can at least conserve it, and it leaves a little wiggle room at the end of the race if you need it. You might have a little 5%. Just a little bit, like in the first race when Lewis was chasing me.
Yeah.
I had that little 5% just in case, and it worked out. A fitting start to the season. Cars feel very good now, and yeah, can feel every little bump,
Boom.
every little turn. Yeah, I prefer it over the last season.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No,
And
definitely
so I'm
hats
looking
off.
forward to the other tracks.
Definitely. And we do have Ring next week, followed by Ring and the finale being at Hockenheimring. So definitely looking forward to seeing more of your podium finishes with the Caribbean Touring Car Championship on the way, and even in the national qualifiers. Maybe we can see you on the top step of the podium. But nonetheless, brother, thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed.
All right. Yeah. Night night.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Kimani Eastman of the JSRA. We do now have the typical podium sitter, Mr. Jaden Harrison. Right. Typical P1 finisher, Mr. Jaden Harrison finished in P4 with that drive-through penalty, and then had a fight up to try and take back that P3 from who you just heard, Mr. Kimani Eastman, and then had that battle in the second race. Jaden Harrison, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Mr. Harrison, we'll start first of all. You got a drive-through for cutting. Can you just enlighten the audience? Was that a glitch, or was that you actually utilizing all five of your cuts for the race?
that was a game glitch. I just took the chicane. It was on the start. I had no cuts and it just gave it. I don't know what
Ouch.
happened there.
Ouch. Ouch. We've seen it happen a few times in the past with the likes of Mikhail Charles and even you, I believe, and Luis Daniel Velez. So we'll definitely investigate to see how we can get that rectified as quickly as possible. But nonetheless, you had a battle between Daville Park, Luis Arenas, and heading up to Mr. Kimani Eastman. Could you walk us through that battle with them? And then we'll get into that battle with you and Dominic Charles there for the second race.
With race one, I don't think I had much battles. I kind of just caught them and kind of just made my way past. They were fighting, slowing each other down, and I'm not sure what happened. I think they just caught up with each other there, but just look for the gap and went through and just ran away with it. It wasn't really much, but just tried to recover from the drive through and almost get back to P3. But with the Assetto, I think I could have maybe came back to P3, but congrats to Kimani for the first podium CTCC.
Right. And then your second race now, I mean, you held off the charging Dominic Charles for the majority of the race up until we saw a slight the rear end coming out of turn 9. Was it? Yeah, out of turn 9. We just saw the back end kick out a little bit. Could you walk us through what happened there? It just opened the door for Dominic, and it seemed like that was just his moment to capitalize and gain his advantage. Could you walk us through what happened there?
Yeah, so I tried to open up the corner as much as possible, and then I got greedy and put the rear on the grass. And because I don't have a round wheel, I couldn't really correct the car, so I lost a lot of time, and Dominic just kind of slipped through. So once that happened, I couldn't really catch back because one lap remaining. I had no more boost left, so just that's how it is.
Could you just give us a brief uh, review, let's say, of what you feel of, did you like the new update? Who you are the lead developer on that new hybrid system? Could you give us a little bit of insight on it and what you like about it and, what your expectations are for the rest of the season?
Yeah, the cars handle way more realistic now,
Agreed.
so like you cannot really push like mega grip. So you have to drive like you can make more realistic maneuvers and fight. The cars handle side by side better in the corners. So you can't really overdrive it. You have to be patient with it. So it's very good update, and the hybrid keeps the racing close because you have to kind of watch for the lunges and stuff, and you can keep up with the competitor when you give like an extra strategy for the short races. But yeah,
No? again, if this is what's to come for the next season, I am very excited to see what you guys have up your sleeves. But nonetheless, brother, awesome racing and very fun to watch.
Yeah,
And
ready for
ladies
the
and
race.
thank you for joining. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Jaden Harrison of the JSRA coming in P4 in the first race and P2 in the second race. But now we have Mr. Rohir Robinson, who finished P2 in the first race and P3 in the second race. Rohir, can you hear me? Mr. Robinson, check if you have PTT enabled.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, yeah.
So, well, first of all, congrats, brother, on the P2, then P3. It seemed rather uneventful for both races. You were kind of just on an island by yourself.
Yeah, it seems that my pace was like off the front runners, but really faster than the other guys. So I was there alone
Right.
for most of the race.
You could have probably used me in that race to kind of throw a little bit of drama in the mix, but nonetheless, we'll reserve any comments regarding that one. But nonetheless, what a drive! Nonetheless, P2 in the first race. You had any moment that you want to go over? Especially, I'd love your input on the latest update, because we do know that you leave your practice until the race day because of obviously your work obligations. How
Yeah.
was the car for you? I know you literally updated the car right before the series started, so you can just give us a little bit of feedback there.
Yeah, mentioning the pace today, I think I'm happy with my pace, based on the amount of practice that I had. So, if you could notice towards the end of the race, I could have done like the 135s that the other guys were doing. So I'm pretty happy about that, and pretty happy about the positions that I gained. With regards to the cars, I think one thing people need to note, I had to note it myself during the race, was that I was trying so hard to catch the front runners that I ended up not,
Driving the car.
yeah, I ended up overdriving the car, and it punished me a lot. And towards the end I kept saying to myself, all right, just relax. It's your own race, don't mess it up, relax, and you pull the fast times. And so said, so done. So advice to the guys, this car will punish you if you overdrive.
If I drive it. I will admit I did try the car right before the servo opened, and it's the
Yeah.
same feedback I had. It was on initial driving, I was over driving the car, and then it's when I just dropped my shoulders is when the car finally just started coming to me. So I do agree with you. So if you are listening and you want to take part, please, that's a very good that's very good advice for the drivers, especially the newer drivers here in the JSRA. But you have 3 rounds remaining. What do you expect? You see the newcomer, Mr. Dominic Charles, as well as Mr. Jaden Verstappen, the two very, 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 very quick. What are your thoughts on the new competition? And I did get a few messages during the race to say, hey, I'm seeing what's happening and I will be back. So, what are your thoughts on the future?
Yeah, like it's so good to have Dominic here,
Agreed.
Um, one level, step up for us, especially for Jaden and I. We know that, oh, we can't make any mistakes when Dominic is around.
Right.
Um, so with me, Jaden, Dominic, and Mikhail is up there with us as well
And
to
Mr.
give us some
Massive,
more
who I'm
in
sure
the
is watching this, scratching his feet and saying, no, sir, I need to get a part of this. We have a
and
few drivers who are missing in action.
yeah, there and Kurt
Right.
Kurt missed a lot. Like I was looking at the two guys battling for the entire race too, and I'm saying, Jaden, hold on, I'm coming.
Trust me, I got some messages tonight. I'm very excited for round two. Let's just say that. So we'll continue to watch for that. But nonetheless, brother, as always, it's always a pleasure to watch your race out there. I'm sure you're very. I know you might be beating yourself that you should be in the top two because that's what we've expected of you. But nonetheless, I'm sure we might some extra practicing this week for Lizard String to come.
Yeah, this is a new track for me, so my learning curve is way longer.
Hmm.
Well, for me, I do take a long time to learn properly the track and how to drive it. So added practice would be beneficial to me. So I'm starting today since I won't have any time during the week.
Definitely. Well,
Yeah.
hopefully we see you back on the top step of the podium sooner than later. I'll give you some tips and hints as the week goes on to see if I can help you gain that extra advantage over the drivers ahead. But nonetheless, brother, thank you so much for joining, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you
having
too.
me. All right.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was Rohir Robinson, lead designer of the Caribbean Touring Car Championship, finishing off in P2 and P3. But nonetheless, to cap off this evening's event, P1 in race 1, P1 in race 2. Dominic Charles, can you hear me?
Hello, hello.
Dominic, what a drive, man, in your debut here at the, well, not at the JSRA, but at the Caribbean, or for the Caribbean Touring Car Championship. You had a pretty easy race in race 1. Well, based on what we saw, you can just walk us through that. And in race 2, you had, I don't know if it's your work cut out for you or if you're just being strategic, but would love to hear your thoughts on that one. But yeah, welcome to the podium box.
Hi, yeah, thanks. Race one. I mean, yeah, that was pretty easy because I got away from all the corners behind and said thank God, and I ran with it. Race two though, I was expecting to have to make it the whole way through the field. I kind of got away, sneaking through the little bit of contact at the start of
At
the
the
race.
start, right?
Yeah, and then once I saw Jaden in front, I was like, "Oh God, I know what's gonna happen." So I really had to fight for it, but I didn't want to make any sudden moves or anything because I still haven't really gotten that accustomed to the car.
Right.
So I didn't want to over push or do anything like that. So I really did just kind of wait and wait and wait and poked at him here and there to see what would happen. And well, I guess I got my way at the end there. I think that was pure luck, honestly. I don't think Jaden is one to just make mistakes. So I feel like something must have happened for him to
He,
slide like that.
he did admit he got a little bit too greedy coming out of turn 9 and ended up touching the grass. But as we said in the commentary box, that was just your one opening to just make the move stick, and you stuck it. So,
Yeah, always looking fit.
as as Daniel Ricciardo says, if you see it, you lick it, you stamp it, and then you send it. So
Yep.
said, so done, and you just covered off for the rest of that race. But nonetheless, very happy to have you on board with us, bro. Very excited to see you first of all, and I'm hoping that we'll have you for the next 3 rounds as well, because if this is anything to come, I got a few text messages during the race to say, hey, I'm so sorry I missed the race, but if this is what it's going to be, I will definitely be back for next week. But obviously everybody has their own life schedule that they have to adhere to, so there's no blaming or
Well,
anything.
I mean, I'm definitely making time for this. This is good fun, and I hope to see some of the other big guns out here too, like Tommy and Senna if they ever get chance.
Well,
Best of luck to them out there in Germany.
right, because they are they're at Nurburgring, or they were at Nürburgring today. So, and luckily we did get them a sponsorship from Mozo to get their R5 bundles. So definitely looking forward to see them more in their, to come out again and enjoy the racing here. But they have promised that they would be here when they can. But nonetheless, bro, it was an absolute pleasure having you here, and I am looking forward to more and more events with you. And trust me, the battling will get even better as the racing goes, because the messages I got tonight does leave me with a little bit of extra smiling. We had some new drivers this evening as well, Mr. Jason McKeown from, well, Jamaican residing in Canada, making his debut here as well as some returning drivers. So I'm excited for what's to come. Mikhail Charles, your countryman, who unfortunately came a little bit late, so his practice was race 2.
Yeah.
He's typically a little bit faster in those stages of the race. So we have a few more drivers on the way, but before I let you go, any thoughts on the rest of the series and the car after racing it in your debut?
Well, y'all did a great job here actually with these cars. This is really interesting how all the cars, they're slightly different in a way, just
Right.
the tiny characteristics that make them individual, but I mean they're pretty balanced. I can't really set too much of a difference in times with the cars. And that the cruise system, that's fantastic.
I
That
agree.
really, really think during the race. So
Yeah, yeah.
good fun.
Well, and again, we have a team over here, and you have helped us in the past with the development of these cars. So again, thanks to you, bro, and glad that we can finally get you onto the track on the race on the Friday. So we look forward to many, 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 many more battles with you, bro.
Yeah, man. Glad to be here. Thanks
Thank
for having
you.
us.
Thank you too. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Dominic Charles taking P1 in both race 1 and race 2. What a dominance from him himself. Dominant Dominic is what we are going to call him. I was going to say is what we call him, but that's going to be his new nickname. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, that does bring the stream to an end. Thank you so much for spending your Friday with us. It was an absolute pleasure bringing the action to you. We apologize for the stream cutting out on multiple times, and we'll be looking forward to more and more action. We'll see you this Sunday for our national qualifiers as the FIA Motorsports Games comes to a conclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been your host, Stephen Stewart, and we will be in touch sooner than later. We are coming up to as
man. So
there is a run.
outside. Oh yeah.
Ooh, let's try the switcheroo.
We all know what this is gonna be. You came and failed the test, you met the best, expected chess, but got monopoly. I came and bought you out, I knocked you out, I crouched you out with no apologies. I am the hope, the heart, the faith, the spark, the one who will fulfill the prophecy. I just been counting, never lounging, climbing up mountains, bouncing back. Step in the ring, about you step back. They'll learn hot when I get on the track. I like it louder the most. Watching all these shit just buy down to the goat. If I can't decide, I'ma probably get both. We didn't celebrate, but right now I'm a toast. Resurrected
Here is Eastman going side by side with Jaden Harrison. Jaden Harrison took him on the inside, but Eastman says no and closes the door. But here he is now about to lose 2 positions heading into the penultimate corner. Now coming through the final corner, can Moss get past Eastman as well?